Go to TAPgiles.com to learn dreams, engage my services, and support the channel.
Do it with R2 and put this onto threshold. So when R2 goes beyond that amount, then we want it to pulse and do the same thing. So you can use X or R2 for this game. And that means you can use it with the moves. Let's just turn on my moves. So we won't need the secondary one, so we just make another imp tracker that follows the secondary one. We can hide it. Oh, and we can hide imp for that one. There you go. But you see, like, as I can like tilt it up and down and side to side and stuff. So it's not using that gun style aiming thing, so it's not quite easy. So what we want to do is and it's also kind of, so if I pause it, I'm holding the controller upright, and now it's pointing forwards. But if I hold it more naturally like this, then it's pointing down. So we want to like adjust that. And if I use a keyframe, we can hook this up in a bit. Yeah, so basically I'll hold it so it feels natural pointing forwards. And I'll use this keyframe and scope in and like rotate it so it's pointing forwards. Something like that. And now we can activate this keyframe if we are using the moves. So using motion controllers, power that keyframe. There we go. So now it feels a lot more natural. Because the imp tip is still back here. So if we like rotate like that, it's still going to think we're grabbing stuff. Oh, I think it's colliding with this. So we need to also make the gun shape have no imp interaction, so that it doesn't block the line of sight for the imp. Let's turn on, show that imp. So if we hold it on the side, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So you need a more complex setup for this, I think, if you want it to work with the move controller. So I think what we'd have to do is I have an imp tracker. I'll put it on the grid, and then in here I have a tag. Put that at the imp tip position. So this is the imp tip. And then we'll have this at like a position on here. And we want to rotate this to point at this thing. I'm going to first quickly add a chip and group it up with it, and we'll see why later. And then I'll surface snap a lookout rotator onto it. Pointing forwards, and it'll target the imp tip. So you can see as this moves around, it's like trying to match it. You can up the speed, strength and damping, so it matches it better. But now it will just be like in the middle of the, we want that to be further out then. It will just be like rotating funny like that. And you can see it kind of slowly rotating to be upside down. We can turn on upright mode, and now it will try and stay upright as well as aiming at the mouse, aiming at the imp. But you don't want it to just stay, it's kind of rotating from that point there. If I just make another sculpt, you could just copy that sculpt, but I'm just going to make another one. And now this has got this group with these two sculpts in it. And put this sculpt on the other side of the camera. Now it's affecting, this lookout rotator is affecting that whole group, but it's kind of weighted to wherever this is. So if I tweak that, we can see it as we move it. So it's kind of, because this is so big and heavy, it's weighted more towards there, and we can make it smaller, and now it's kind of more in the middle. Okay. Cool, and now we'll rotate around that point, and we can like make it further away, and then we can move it so that it adjusts so it's around the camera position. And then when the imp tip moves around, it'll kind of rotate like that. So we've got a roughly correct thing for that. So it's still going to be easier with the DS4, but you can kind of get most of the way there. Okay, so if you're using the motion controllers, it'll turn this thing on. If it's not using motion controllers, it will turn that one on. Okay. So this is with the DS4, and this is with the mouse. And they work roughly the same. But the DS4 is a little bit more reliable. I'm just a terrible shot. Cool.
Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something interesting. Go to patreon.com/TAPgiles to learn something new every day.